Alrighty, we are here for the Monday show tonight on Wednesday, and I'm sure you guys can hear me now. If you cannot, something is terribly wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and investigate why my sound doesn't work, and that might consist of restarting my computer. Heck, why don't we just restart it? I'm already in this stream, that's why I joined. So we're going to do a nice, good old-fashioned cold start. And I'm 80% sure I overcame the issues where it crashes at random when I'm running more than one instance of OBS. But like, yeah, last week, it happened again, right? We remember that. So I dusted my computer, although I already did it at the time. And then what did I do? Today, I went into the MSI Afterburner app to basically reduce the speed of my CPU, but that is not affecting the sound. What is affecting the sound? Why am I speaking to the microphone? What is affecting the sound? Let's power up the computer in 3, 2, 1. That's weird. Why is the preamp on? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Oh, whatever. It's turning on. It is gonna begin booting up any second now. Yeah. So anyway, I'll click on the chat in a moment. I can't see the chat right now. I'm on a phone screen, as you can see, as you can imagine. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I apologize for the difficulties here. It's weird. I put in some effort to test everything out, and it still didn't work. Maybe it's because of the exotic thing I'm doing. You know what? We're going to unplug this sound device for a moment. Yeah, because I came up with this brilliant solution that worked last week, where I would and well, we're jumping from topic to topic. Where last week I figured out that if I plug headphones into my front headphone jack separate from my audio interface, logging in. Oh, it's still loading. There we go. If I plug in my headphones, wait, what do you mean connection lost? Is my connection lost? Can you guys hear me? I hope the connection is not lost. How do I open the chat? Ah, there it is. All right, I'm waiting for the chat to load. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Oh, come on. One momento. Oh, I know what it is. Testing 1, 2 of 3. Get off my fucking screen. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1. I can hear my own voice. But wait, it's not coming through the correct sound input. Okay, screw it. Oh wait, I know what we're gonna do. Gonna try something. Testing 1. Solution here. How you guys doing today? I can hear my own voice, so I know if this sound is coming to my headphones. I apologize for the inconvenience there, and yeah. So my virtual audio cable. Oh wait, maybe that's the issue. But you guys can hear me, right? Give me a 1 if you can hear me in some form, in some way, shape, or form. If you can hear me, let me know, and I will just, I guess, find solace in the fact that you can hear me somehow, just not in the way that I'm typically accustomed to. We're going to do a little experiment here. We're going to go and switch the audio source. We're going to bypass
the virtual audio cable. So it looks like it works without the virtual. Oh, let's mute me. Okay, thank you for your patience. Let's get that chat window back up. I appreciate you guys hanging in there. And I believe we are broadcasting live, or I guess we're streaming live on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, and Twitter X. which is called X. What up, Wade? I gotta get you back on soon. Audio is good, but audio isn't combined with the video. That is correct because I was using my telephone. And then the telephone's all like, oh, your connection is lost, which I don't understand how. It looks like it's connected just fine. But the spinner is there. But do you still have an echo? Oh, oops, wrong button. You can't have an echo anymore. Not anymore. Oh, was echo not anymore. Thank you. Okay, so I want to know why, because look, good news is about a week ago I discovered, oh, wait, what's this? That's weird. Okay, no, it's not weird. About a week ago I discovered that a couple of times I joined other people's streams without the virtual audio cable, and everything worked out. But I still like to use the virtual audio cable because what it does is it takes sound from this input. This is my XLR port. And I guess we're just going to go into technical crap. No, but we might find it during this stream tonight, Jolly. That's a great question because I have a Super Mario mystery box. I have another mystery box. I have a funny feeling. I had a flashback while I was waking up this morning. Okay, when I was going to bed 2 nights ago. And the flashback was that I have a funny feeling the Ziploc bag full of, Nintendo games is inside the mystery box that I bought in San Antonio. So we're going to take a look. We're going to see. We're going to find out. And if it's not in there, that's okay, because between tonight and tomorrow, especially tomorrow afternoon, I am going to tear my living space upside down, Jolly. Because I want to play Mario Kart. You know why, Jolly? I have to play Mario Kart this week. You want to know why, Jolly? Because I took Sunday off from work, and I took Sunday off from work for good reason. Because a while back, a fellow YouTuber named LCX, we'll drop a link for L, invited me on a show. She was like, yo, come through, talk about your astrophotography crap or something. So I was like, heck yeah. And I was like, I will be on LCX's channel this Sunday. I think it's like 11 a.m. Eastern time, if I remember correctly. But don't quote me on that. Anyway, so I reach out to her, I go, yeah, I definitely like to be on, and I will, she was willing to accommodate me, but I was like, if I could get Sunday off from work, that would be awesome, because one, that's her regular day to have, like, other content creators on. So, like, if someone like Jolly wants to join, I'm sure Jolly, if you want to be on LCX's show, I'm sure she'd let you be on. I mean, you might not be able to have, actually, I don't know, you might be able to play your booty break, because, like, she kind of has that on her channel, too. Her artwork is a combination of good anime style art coupled with, like, I would say it's just the thumbnails are like second to none, because I mean, like, some of these thumbnails you'll have like this like anime girl with a butt sticking out, and it's gangster. I respect it, yo, I really do. But that being besides the point, let me see if I can get my virtual audio cable to work, because I want the virtual audio cable, because it is the virtual audio cable, Jolly, and everyone else, that enables me to normalize my sound levels. And what's very interesting is this is what my VU meter looks like without, wait, that's weird. That testing one, that's interesting. Everything's wrong. So typically that VU meter should be somewhere in the yellow zone, and I feel like it's just a bit off for some reason. Oh, I see why. Testing 1, 2. Okay, that works. Okay, I get something seems off. Something seems off, but I think it's about right. So basically, my audio filters are the compressor and expander. The compressor makes quiet sounds quieter. And wait, no, I got that wrong. The compressor makes loud sounds quieter. So if you scream into the microphone, this is what suppresses the sound. And the expander makes quiet sounds quieter. So if you look, when I stop speaking, the VU meter goes dead. However, without the filters, actually, it's pretty quiet in here right now. Let's open the window. Let's open the window. See? Look at the VU meters dancing. So when I turn on these two filters, or the expander alone, the background noise goes away. Pretty cool, right? And So it just makes sense. If you have an air conditioner running or a window open, it'll suppress that low background noise. And the compressor prevents us from going into the red zone. But right now, you guys are listening to me directly from the audio device. So if I had a loud outburst right now, there would be little to no protection from that. So let me know if you want me to give you guys a loud outburst as a technological demonstration of what happens when I scream into the microphone. This is how I feel all the time trying to use OBS. And what up, Wade? I appreciate that. That's too kind. You touched my heart there. But jokes aside, Wade's the man. I like Wade. He's a cool cat. Yeah, really? I do have Mario Kart 7, I believe it's called, for a Game Boy 3DS, which is not a Game Boy. It's called 3DS. But yeah, I have a 3DS with Mario Kart 7 on it, I believe. And it's pretty good. It looks a lot like Mario Kart 8. But, you know, lower resolution, lesser graphics, yada, yada, yada. It's true. I am quite. I shouldn't be speaking for myself, but I do like to joke around. But anyway, let's see if we can. Like, I would love to have my audio filters back before I continue talking. If we don't get it figured out in like a minute or 2 or 5, maybe 8 minutes tops, I'll just use things as they are. But it just drives me insane. So let's theorize here. Okay. Sound comes in through line 1/2, whatever the heck. I don't know why they call it line 1. Oh, I get it, because the guitar is line 2, I guess. Anyway, whatever. Then it makes its way to the virtual audio cable, which is dead right now. Why is my virtual audio cable dead? It's like that My Chemical Romance song. If anyone knows the song, sing it out loud. Nah, I'm joking. Something that's that's interesting. Testing 1, 2. No, that did not do anything. I didn't even know there was a wave in the volume here. Okay, so what was the previous setting? Was it 8? Does anybody remember what setting it was on before I touched this? I believe it was on an 8. We're going to put it back to where we found it. So anyway, the theory of how this works is the sound comes in through my microphone here. Then it gets sent to a playback device, which is normally traditionally an output device. Ah, that works! It works! Look, look, look! So the output device works. Now, the way that the virtual audio cable works is the sound that's going into the playback device called VB Audio Virtual Audio Cable is supposed to be forwarded or relayed to this device here. And this device is dead. And I don't know why. So if we just get that figured out, we should be good. And if we have to, we'll try. I mean, worst case scenario, I get an erection exceeding 24 hours and, you know, shit happens. Oh, I don't know if that would be shit. It'd be more like snake happens. Okay, that's nasty. I think I know the answer. I think I know what happened. I don't know what this setting's supposed to be at. It might cover your eardrums, guys. No, I'm joking. I mean, hopefully you don't need to cover your eardrums, but we're gonna do something here. Okay, so let me just remember what I just said because I need to make sense of it. Okay, sound comes into the real microphone, goes to the virtual microphone, and I know what I got to do. Okay, I got it now. We got to go back here, double click on this bad boy. We got to tell it to play back the sound that comes into this bad boy and send it to this bad boy. Boom. Now we got sound and virtual audio cable, right? Right? Please, please, please. Nope, we do not. That is so weird. I mean, it works over here. This is very weird. I'm sorry to bore you guys. Nah, blown capacitor, I don't think so. I mean, maybe. It's possible, but I got to open windows, so, I mean, we're getting plenty of airflow, if that makes a difference. But I am just perplexed right now because, like, this has never given me real issues. All right, we're going to do things that don't make sense now. This is a bad idea. I should not do that. Test. Testing 1, 2. Oh, I see. Oh, I know what the mistake I made. Okay. Hang on. I think I see it now. Okay. So we go here. We say, listen on here like this. Boom. Now, no, it doesn't work. Why? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, now. Okay, That's just fascinating. We're going to do a science experiment here. Okay, we're back. I'm just like, I'm perplexed. I am absolutely, toodalutely perplexed right now. And I think we're going to just give up on this. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. I got false excitement. That is not the correct device. We're going to try a couple of tricks here. Testing 1, 2. Nope, no bueno. Okay, well, what if we go here? Nope. I'll probably have to mess with it after stream. But I mean, look, the audio is going, microphone audio is going into the virtual output device. So that's half the battle there. But for some oddball reason, it's not making it here. Maybe it's because I reinstalled my NVIDIA drivers a week ago, but that doesn't really make sense. Could it be these settings are wrong? No, I don't think so. These are totally within normal settings. Oh, wait, what the heck is that? I'm going to do an experiment here. No, that wouldn't do anything. Huh. Okay, well, I can play with this after stream, guys. I apologize for putzing around with settings, but it's like, come on, man. I like having my virtual audio cable. That shit rocks. Okay, so I just turned this off. Now, I want to see something here. Does the sound go here? It does go here. So maybe I'll reinstall the virtual. Oh, I got it. Okay, I gotta tell you guys a story after this. We got it. Look, it's working. So now we're gonna go, doesn't really matter if we set the default. So now how do we do this? So now all we gotta do is we go here, we pick virtual audio cable. So consider this a lesson. All right, now you can hear me. See the green VU meter is, wait, no, that's the wrong one. Testing. It works. We got it. And we will play that because guess what, Wade? Part of the reason we're having these issues today is because of the efforts I put into ensuring that I can have guests on the stream while being able to react to videos. And we're going to react to a couple of things today. We're just going to kind of pick some crap and roll with it, you know? And we're going to pick some good stuff too. For example, we have L's channel on screen right here. So yes, I will be on LCX's channel this Sunday. And, you know, good quality content. I mean, look at these thumbnails right over here. I mean, come on, like, this is awesome here. Like, it's like girl in a towel. It's just like really plays to the audience. Or like, look at this thumbnail here. It's like bunny suit mode, you know? So it's like you go from innocent to bunny suit, which could arguably be innocent, to professor. See, look at that. She got professor. Well, it's not really professor. She's in a lab coat. I need to get a lab coat. Then you got this short right over here. Wait, jiggle. Is this one of those Makini things? You know how Makini has those videos of his artwork where the girl is like, you know, jiggling? Let's see if this is like Makini's art. Hey, where's the sound? There's no sound here. Okay, that's all right. No sound. We don't need sound for this. Oh, come on. I want to see the, there we go. I want to see the jiggle. That's very fascinating. Science is great. Now, but joke aside, this looks like an Android wallpaper. And this is gangster. Okay. I got to hit the like button on that. No, like button, not dislike. Oh, crap. Wait, no. Undislike. Pro like. Okay, hopefully that works. But you get the idea. Good content, good channel. If you want to learn to draw, watch Makini and watch LCX. And they both know how to draw. Now, Makini, LCX is more, you know, games focused. So if you like retro games, this is the channel for you. And sometimes she'll sample a catalog of PlayStation 3 games and things of that nature. Whereas, you know, Makini, he's straight up art. And he'll do like a lot of pop culture commentary and things of that nature. But, you know, like mostly he's a good artist and shit, you know, and he's got a drawing tablet and he does things that I pretend to do. Like, so I'll draw art just to be like a comedic troll, and Makini will like just take it to the next level. So, yeah. Hey, what up, Jose Lopez? Great I like his content. Jose is a cool cat. Am I late? I am 15 subs away from 100. I I am 15 subs away from 400, and this is not me, one-upping. I just want to share that because I'm surprised I'm there because for the longest time, I was stuck at like 335, and then like 3-4 weeks in a row, maybe when I started upping my thumbnail game, we got more subs. But real quick before we move on, I have my window open today, let some air in, but unfortunately I have easterly winds, which kind of sucks because, I have a casement window, and I don't want to have the window blown off the hinges. But anyway, I want to really quickly explain a couple of things. So this is how the audio cable works, and how's our audio levels. I'm going to crank it up. It's the one thing I didn't like about what I saw here. One, I don't know what this means. Does this make a difference? Is it too loud, too low? Do you guys hear a difference? It shouldn't do anything at all. This volume level should do nothing. But that being besides the point, so once again, I'll explain it. I speak into my microphone. It goes into the XLR port. The USB sound interface has a preamp, or actually it is a preamp attached to the XLR cable. But bottom line is that this device goes from the microphone XLR cable to USB. And there is a physical knob that I can adjust, but once I set that knob, I leave it alone. So once the audio goes into the sound interface and through the USB cable, you see it right over here, coming up through this little VU meter, right? From there, the sound goes into OBS. And I don't expect this to make sense, but I'll just explain it. Sound goes into OBS, and we can see that because this is the microphone for the XLR port right there, right? From there, because I installed the virtual audio cable driver, anytime I turn on this option here, sound is forwarded to that virtual audio cable device that we're using on Restream or StreamYard right now. So once the sound goes into OBS, it also goes through the audio filters that we spoke about earlier. And then, because we selected monitor and output on, the sound is going to get kicked back to here. Believe it or not, a playback device that we never listen to. There's no speakers here. This is a fake speaker, and its only job is to forward the sound to the virtual audio device here. And this is the device. When you go to Restream, when you go to StreamYard, you're not selecting the microphone. You are selecting this device right over here, because this here represents the sound after OBS has its way with it, after OBS's audio filters are applied to the sound. And so what was happening was, because I plugged my headphones into the front of my tower, see, I stopped using the onboard sound a while ago. Something must have triggered this particular audio device to mute. And I don't know why. It doesn't really make sense, but maybe it was linked to a hotkey or a keyboard shortcut, and shit happens, right? And that is what caused the issues. But let's move on from that because that's really boring. But what I'm excited about is, because I now have my headphones plugged into the front of my tower, instead of using my USB sound interface for everything, this is how it works now. If I was to invite someone like Disney Sheepherder or Wade onto the stream, I'm going to hear them on these headphones that are plugged into the front of my desktop. However, if we play a YouTube video, I'm going to hear it on my speakers, and you are going to hear it as well. Now, the thing was, if I don't use a separate sound card for Restream, and I don't use a separate sound card for regular desktop audio, you can't share audio when you have guests on stream, because if you have a guest on the stream and you play a YouTube video, the sound is going to echo. It's going to basically play in a loop. So we are set up now to solve that issue, and it worked last week as well. I didn't really take advantage of it. But this week, as you see, it caused an unexpected issue, and I'm just glad we solved it. So now that we have that, yeah, I hear you, Psycho Dwarf 9. And I got to check out your channel. I mean, like, you're doing story time now. I mean, is this a project? Is it a project story time? Some people will get that joke, some won't. But jokes aside, I hung out with Psycho Dwarf 9 once. He's a cool cat. I had beer with Psycho Dwarf 9. I consumed beer. In fact, I consumed beer about 3 weeks ago, and I basically exceeded my life's allotment, like in one weekend. So I'll probably be good on beer for a while. So let's see here if we have anything we can make fun of or react to, because I misplaced, when I restarted my computer, I misplaced all my browser tabs. So Yeah, we don't have those browser tabs anymore. Oh my own, that window's something else. All right, let's close that casement window before it gets blown off the hinges. I do not like the feeling of wind gusts that change direction. Okay, don't worry. We got a video. We're going to close this boring thing here. We're going to find something. And, oh yeah, Wade sent me a video. Don't worry, Wade, I got it. Oh, that sucks. I can't click on it. I need to open up the YouTube studio so that I can get a window. Holy shit! Look at this lady. She don't look young, and she all like, why you should think about switching to Linux. Like, that's a 20-minute video. We're not going to watch it today, but it's sort of like, I see a lot of people who are not hardcore nerds starting to move to Linux, and I love it. Like David Glenn, he's a smart dude, so him using Linux makes sense. But you see other people using Linux, it's like, what? It's kind of interesting. But it makes sense because Microsoft is sort of like, you know, going out of the way to say F you, and people ain't having that shit. Okay, let's see. We got Flat Earth Fails. Oh, we got Shagsworth. I like Shagsworth. Oh, he's playing a video game. Boring. No, okay, I like Shagsworth anyway. Alien Invasion. Oh, speaking of that bullshit. Damn it. Pardon my language. I'm about to go look for a playlist. Let's go back into full screen mode now that we can. So if there's any... Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I got ADD right now. Okay, Wade sent me a video. Let's start there. Okay, we're going to start with the video that the real Wade Nation Gaming Nation just sent me. Ooh, look at that. Did you hear that Star Trek sound? That's because I'm sharing my desktop audio now. Oh, by the way, this background is from Babylon 5. I think it's from season 1, the pilot episode, The Gathering. And this is a background that it's inside of an O'Neill cylinder, just like Mobile Suit Gundam, right? You got that spinning cylinder thing going on. And this is the green section. It's sort of like a garden. Linux is no, you don't have to build your own drivers, man. That's like a thing of the past. Typically, the ideal scenario is you get a computer that's a few years old where the hardcore Linux nerds already had time to mess around with it. And so by that point in time, you don't need to compile your own drivers. You don't need to build your own drivers. You're just installing a Debian package or some crap. That being said, if you get a brand new laptop, new technology, you're going to have, like, my friend had to, like, write letters, emails to, like, the people, the kernel devs, and basically, like, explain to them things like, oh, I'm having an issue with this part here. This is the issue, and basically, like, whatever he would describe it or give them useful information, and they would recompile the driver and be like, oh, we just updated it, go download the new one. You know, so, like, it's a bit hardcore, but, you know, it's a thing. But generally speaking, like, my Dell laptop, when I waited a little while, and reinstalled Linux like a week ago. Oh, well, not a week ago. It was like 2 months ago. Things that didn't work properly before work. Who's Janet? Is Janet from another planet here? Did I miss her? Well, Janet from another planet is a cool cat. And I do want to say hi to Curtis YZ Justice. I do want to say hi to... Oh, yeah, I said hi to Psycho 12-9 and Joe and Wade and James. I didn't say hi to James. Well, James, I see you. Just like the movie Avatar. I see you. Right. Ubuntu finally got NVIDIA support integrated in... No, bullshit. I'll wait. I'll believe it when I see it. No, I would like that to be true, but I know NVIDIA, they have this situation where, like, they be, like, charging a fortune for, like, certain functionality. And it just kind of, like, makes Intel somewhat appealing. All right, we're going to test out our desktop audio today. It might blow out your eardrums, so I'm going to lower the volume. I'm going to see if this works. But that is pretty cool. So that's version 24.10 Ubuntu. It sucks way less than before. Oh, that's fantastic, dude. Hey, what up, Timbagini Tube? Or aka Timbo Tube. Good to see you, bud. All right, let's see what we get when we do this. So I'm going to refresh. Oops, did not mean to do that. Okay, let's... Ba-ding! It's a color screen. They have a color Game Boy. Ah, this is that one. This is the one for literally GBA. Okay, this ain't even 3DS. This is GBA. Very nice, Wade. and that's Real Wade Nation Gaming Nation channel. I said that backwards. Real Wade Nation Gaming Recap. Bro, you got too many channels. Jokes aside, it's good to diversify. Like, I probably ought to have a second channel before I get too big, so that if I make a mistake, yeah, did the audio not work? Oh, it didn't. Wait, I'll fix that. Okay, this is actually the point. This is my time to shine and your time to shine, Wade, because some of the reasons why we had audio issues today is related to this solution to the lack of audio, and we're gonna fix that right now. In order to fix that, we have to set this as the default audio device. Can you guys still hear me? All right, good. You guys can still hear me. And we're going to send the audio output to the headphones that are plugged into my sound card. There we go. And we're going to send the rest of the audio output to the front speakers on my desktop. And when we do that, you're going to get sound. Yeah. I can hear it on my speakers. Hey, what up, Anime 1999 and 92? Can you hear it now? Can you hear it now? You can hear it now, right? Look at that. We got it working. Which guys are killing you? Me? Them? Oh, yeah, sure thing. I got you in a second. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take so long to open your link, James. You know what it is? When I'm looking at links on LiveStream, they don't open, and I have to go and open up the YouTube. Are you sure you want to leave YouTube? Not really, but I'll do it anyway. What is a TG child? An empathetic overview. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. But if I have to go to the bathroom, I'm going to use text-to-speech to read it out loud. You think I'm kidding, but I am. I really got to go. Okay, in case I have to go to the bathroom, well, let's see. Let's try it out. Because if I can go to the bathroom right now, that'd be kind of cool. Damn it, that's not what I want. I want Windows Narrator.
Pane, narrator dialog, close, asterisk, text editor, editing.
Can you hear that?
OBS 3.0.0.2, profile, master profile, scenes, narrator dialog, close, asterisk untitled, notepad window, text editor, editing, blank. Document selected.
Please, wait. I thought narrator's job is to read this crap.
OBS 3.0. Narrator dialog, asterisk untitled, notepad window, text editor, editing.
Well, that's absolutely useless. What good is the Windows
OBS 3.0.0.2, profile, alert.
What is the
Stop
point
capture
of the
display
Windows
3,
narrator?
task
Narrator
bar,
touch
narrator
requires
dialog,
a touch screen.
Close,
Supports
button,
finger. No, I don't
narrator
need narrator
dialog,
touch.
OK, button, Alt plus, asterisk untitled, notepad window, text editor, editing. Narrator dialog, OK.
If you want narrator
button,
to tell you the commands,
Alt
no, I
plus
don't.
O,
If you want to learn
up.
how you, okay, I guess it's not
narrator
as fun
keyboard
as I
changes. We've updated the narrate, asterisk untitled, notepad window, text editor, editing. Sometimes these changes are social, like choosing a new name and set of pronouns.
Come on. You know, what's reading the wrong
narrator
part of the
dialog,
file?
asterisk untitled, cap T. Looting outward of blank, end of line selected blank.
I know what to do.
What is a transgender child? An empathetic overview.
Oh, come on. It's not reading the whole thing, man.
Narrator dialog.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll read the thing and
button,
I'll go to the bathroom.
Alt plus O. Heads up.
Hey, being serious, no rush on the Game Boy.
Changes.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I got
Putting
you.
everything together the Monday show. On Wednesday, November 20th.
Okay, I'm going to stop using that.
Narrator, narrator heading level
useful.
1. Welcome to narrator. This asterisk untitled, notepad window, tech cap W. What is it? Understand them. In this article, let's do our small part to diffuse the moral panic surrounding What is a transgender child? An empathetic overview selected. Are you blank? Are you a man who feels comfortable calling himself a man? Are you a woman who feels comfortable calling herself a woman? Document selected.
I don't mean to be acting like a boomer here, but I was just hoping that maybe you guys could, have this article read to you by a robot while I go to the toilet. All right, I guess not. All right, what is a transgender child? An empathetic overview. I hope to God I don't get taken out of context reading this.
OBS
Oh, let's close that stupid
30.0.2.
narrator.
Start capture. Jump link.
Wait,
Skip to
read it,
content
read it.
link. What is a transgender
It's gonna
child?
read it. It's gonna read it.
An empathetic guide
Please
for
read it.
understanding gender identity. Heading Level 1. What is a transgender child? An empathetic overview. Are you a man who feels comfortable calling himself a man? Are you a woman who feels comfortable calling herself a woman? If you answered yes to either, imagine the following scenario: a world in which everyone around you just insists, relentlessly, that you're not what you know yourself to be. A world that calls you the wrong name, refers to you by the wrong terms, despite your corrections. People who believe they know what's best for you, who would rather impose their perspectives than listen to yours. Imagine all of this continuing for years on end. Much of the teenage transgender population doesn't need to imagine, this is their reality. Their needs are met with skepticism, disparagement, and even malice. Their very existence stokes the flames of fear-mongers who don't bother to understand them. In this article, let's do our small part to diffuse the moral panic surrounding trans children. Heading Level 2. What is gender dysphoria in children? Let's start with the following point: gender is complicated. After all, there's an entire field, called gender studies, devoted to understanding how we conceptualize and express gender throughout society. It offers a depth that helps us make sense of terms like transgender, transsexual, and gender dysphoria. That last one may be unfamiliar, but it's important. Gender dysphoria is the feeling of distress that some people feel when their biological sex, including outward appearances, conflicts with how they view themselves. For people with gender dysphoria, the mismatch may cause a red circle. Live the Monday Show, on Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. LiveStream, camera and microphone recording, high memory usage, 913 megabytes, Google Chrome, Ronald Payne, chat,
crap.
RestStream chat.
I had the robot
Jump
reading
list
it
for
for me
exiting
until
narrator.
I clicked on something. All right. So what do we got here? All right. So I kind of listened to it on my phone while I was stepping away from my desk. And let's see. Yeah, an empathetic overview. Are you a man who feels comfortable calling himself a man? Are you a woman who feels comfortable calling herself a woman? And it's funny. Actually, I am. There's this girl who's non-binary who comes up in my news feed now. And I think what happened was she was trying to bridge the divide between the left and the right, or at least trying to like understand. And she realized, like, or at least she claims she realizes. I mean, I guess she realizes it because she's like a person who works in Alaska. So typically, people who work, have their heads screwed on their heads a bit more straight. And I don't have the video right here, but so somebody's come up on my home screen, and I'm subscribed to this chick. I don't remember the name of the channel. She got like a short haircut, which is, fine. I think she works in an oil field or just, somewhere in Alaska. And, she was like, oh, I was surprised how all these Trump supporters are not assholes. Like, that's literally what she was saying. Like, she didn't say assholes, but, it was like, that's not it. I'm trying to find it here. I didn't see this Captain Kirk thing, but people making a big deal about this Captain Kirk face that don't even look real. I mean, he looks younger than Captain Kirk in Star Trek 7. I mean, I'm happy that people are happy, but it's like, I'm not falling for the bullshit. I'm not about to get back into Star Trek only to be disappointed again. Get the F out of here. Not happening. Oh yeah, the transgender child. Let's start with the following point. Gender is complicated. No, it's not. I mean, okay, gender might be complicated. Biological sex is simple. And the main issue I would have with any of this is, like if you get into a car accident and a metal bar gets stuck in your belly, it kind of makes sense for the doctors to know if you're a boy or a girl. You know what I mean? Like, that's funny. YouTube filtered Curtis's message. Check this out. So look, he says just go take a piss, but look, there's no message after David Glenn because unless I click live chat, Curtis's message is filtered. Fascinating. Anyway, back on topic. So like gender, you could argue is a construct or, external appearance of a person. Like, I'm not really a stickler for specifics in these types of things, because I mean, when people refer to gender historically, throughout the 80s and 90s, everybody knows what the F we're talking about. It's like we're talking about boy, girl, man, woman, male, female. But at the same time, it's like technically, if the dictionary definition begs to differ, then it matters, right? Words matter, definitions matter. We should, respect them whether or not it makes us happy that some people might run with them. But at the end of the day, you'll hear people say, like, they'll refer to some South American society in, ancient times having like 5 genders or some crap like that. And it's like, this was not the norm. It might have been a thing in some old civilizations, but generally speaking, I think it was understood man goes hunting, woman stays home with the kids, But anyway, that's not even the point. Why am I reading this? Oh, what am I looking for, James? Is there anything I'm looking for? Never mind, but there's got to be something in there. Come on, you wouldn't share a link unless it had something in there. There's got to be something in here. How to spot? Oh, this should be fun. Okay, let's roll with it. Let's just see what we get out of this, James. And if you have if you want to direct my attention to a specific passage, please let me know. You may think you already know the signs that a child may be transgender. A boy who plays with dolls, a girl who plays with trucks. Sure, kids who gravitate towards things associated with the opposite gender might end up being trans, but not necessarily. Okay, well, I'm glad that's acknowledging that. Sometimes experimenting with different toys is just part of growing. You know what? It is part of growing up, but not only that, I had a my-size Barbie for like a good chunk of my childhood. So what happened was, this girl who is a teen who babysat me and my brother, at some point she outgrew having a my-size Barbie. So we ended up with it. Like literally right next to the toy chest. For a while we kept it in the closet. No pun intended. It was literally physically in the closet. And it had a dress. At some point, the my-size Barbie dress disappeared. Okay, I don't know where the F it went, but it no longer had a dress. So for years after that, for fucking years, we had a my-size Barbie that didn't have a dress. And it was weird. Like, we thought it was weird too. Like, and at some point, like, a friend would be like, how do you have a my-size Barbie that has no dress? Like, I don't fucking know, man. It's like, just, we lost the dress, It had some crayon written on it, but for the most part, it was literally a freaking my-size Barbie doll with nothing on. And eventually we had the good sense to dispose of it, which is probably a good thing, because I would not want to be caught having one of those in my possession today. That would just be absolutely exceedingly weird. But yeah, no, jokes aside, James, I appreciate the link. I'm not sure if I'm prepared to read the whole thing, but I definitely want to focus on a specific part. So if there is a specific part of interest, let me know. I'm kind of just skimming through it, seeing if anything jumps out at me. I mean, it seems like pretty much boilerplate, like coming to terms with being transgender, college support system for transgender systems. Okay, that's, what? And college is the right time to deal with that shit. I think where, like, a lot of people have issues, and in fact, the non-binary chick who is in a non-heterosexual relationship, as she describes it, and that's her choice. She wants to describe it that way, power to her. I don't really give a shit. If she's listening to people who she previously thought disagreed with her, and she's maintaining a dialogue, I'm cool with that. I truly am. So, I'll use her words to describe her status and relationship. But essentially what she's starting to understand is that some of the people who have issues with the whole trans thing are people who, who have issues with, they basically want the children left alone, or they want to at least let children be children until they get to a certain stage in their life where they're mature enough. And this is where I think some of the hardcore religious types might beg to differ, and other hardcore conservatives might beg to differ. But I'd be on the same page with the logic that at some point it might not hurt to teach the kids that trans people exist. It doesn't mean that you have to encourage them to do it. Doesn't mean that you got to keep secrets from the parents by letting the kid come into school and change into a dress during the school day without the parents being aware of it. No, I don't think that's entirely appropriate at all. In fact, not at all, not in the least bit. But I think it doesn't hurt to educate kids because maybe someone truly is trans. Maybe somebody truly doesn't feel right into their skin and they might truly feel comfortable transitioning. Now, the big issue is with children transitioning. I don't know how we got down. I mean, I know we got down this rabbit hole because James sent us a link. But it's interesting, I guess like where things run into issues are, I just want to make sure I don't misrepresent it, somebody that speaks so fast, I go ahead of my own brain. Just want to make sure whatever. It'll come back to me, I guess. But sound is still working, right, guys? I hope the sound is still working. I hope we're not dead on sound. Now, if there's anything else you guys want to see, I know Wade did drop another link to his other Nintendo. And yes, you should subscribe to Wade's channel. Wait, the title of the channel is saved. Is this your website, James? I have a feeling this is James's website. I'm guessing. I don't know. But James, let me know. No, actually, I don't think it's James's website. I mean, his name is James. I hope my chat didn't freeze up. I'm not seeing any new messages. Is everything okay? Did you guys leave me because I'm boring? It's understandable if you did. I mean, I'm a little boring right now, I admit. Let's go and see if we can open up the video app. Ah, there we go. Thank you, Lady Mist. I just want to make sure we're live here. So next week, we're going to switch to the other method. Oh, hey, it worked. I can't see the emojis on my left side of my screen, but I can see them here. That's fantastic. Thank you for the bugs. My turtles will appreciate that. But anyway, as I was saying, okay, so just to be clear, yeah, like if someone feels more comfortable in, they don't feel comfortable in their skin and they're grown. Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, I remember what I was going to say now. I remember. Okay. Sorry, I just had to remember what I was going to say. So basically, like, here's how it works. Here's how, there's two dichotomies here. Okay, you're someone who feels uncomfortable in your own skin and you want to transition to another sex or gender, or you want to at least dress up as another gender and potentially get treatment, hormone treatment or something, right? If you're under 18, there's a lot of contentious argument about that right now, as you guys know. And just like I was talking about the schools and how, teachers will sometimes accommodate a student who, is interested in dressing as a boy or as the opposite sex or gender. And they'll keep a secret from the parents, which is borderline in the realm of harassment, but that's besides the point, or a form of grooming, I would say. On the other hand, they say the reason why there's a push to transition teenagers and potentially even kids before they're 18 is because people who transition when they're in their adult life would have been happier or better off if they've done it earlier. And the theory is that, like, let's say I transition when I'm 15. It's a more thorough transition. I become more ladylike, I guess, and I guess my voice sounds more feminine. On the other hand, if you transition at an older age, you're never going to get the ability to transition properly. Because part of the argument is that you need to begin the process before or during puberty in order for it to, in order to be able to adjust or control, the processes in the body that lead to, becoming the chosen gender identity. The problem was, according to some documentary I saw, and I don't know if it's a fully accurate representation, but it sounds about right. The state of California and teachers and people and judges were basically promoting it. They were like, oh yeah, you should get it now because we're going to give you, the surgery for free. Essentially, the logic was that there's grant money, or essentially they'll cover the surgery, the top surgery and or bottom surgery. They'll cover that expense if you're, under 18 or between a certain age range. But if you outgrow that age range, then it's on you to basically fund that cost. So part of that's part of what pushes kids into that, or what might push kids into it. I really don't know for certain. The problem is, of course, according to some of the testimonials, including a testimonial from a young lady who either she used to be a girl who became a boy. I think she was a girl who became a boy, and she was now in the process in the documentary of detransitioning. She was on her way back to becoming a female, or at least doing the things required to get back to where she was before getting treatments to become a male, or to at least emulate a male. Look, whatever term you want to use. And at the time she was getting the initial work done to become, to switch from her natural birth identity. So she started off being a female at birth, and she got the hormone treatments to become a male. Before getting those treatments, she was told you could reverse at any time, in so many words. And of course, or not surprisingly, I should say, according to her own testimonial in the interview that was conducted in this documentary, when she decided that she did want to, she didn't want to go forward with it anymore, or that she didn't want to continue, when she decided that she wanted to transition and go back to where she was before as a she no longer had the same support that she had before. Now it was on her to go and get it covered, insured, or otherwise, covered. It wasn't like the state was suddenly like backing her every step of the way, giving her free support, yada, yada, yada. So it is a disservice if you're going to tell teenagers, for example, that you can reverse this major life-altering change at any point later on, when the reality may not be quite like that at all. And so I'm not against people choosing that path, but I'm against, giving them incomplete disclosure on what the future holds. And frankly, it sounds like sales. In the case of this young lady, it sounded like she was essentially being turned into a cash cow. Because, if the state's covering the surgery, the plastic surgeons perform the top surgery, remove her breast, they get paid by the state. They don't give a shit about her emotional state. I mean, yeah, in theory, you would see a counselor, and the counselor would determine if you should have it. But it appears that if you're a counselor who goes against the grain of this type of push, you may not have a license for long, or you may not have the same repute as you did before. So it may be in the interest of people who want to retain their medical license or psychology or psychiatry license to kind of go with the program. It's a bit of a messy, it's a sticky situation, because I'm sure nobody wants to be labeled a transphobe, and I'm sure some of us have met real trans people who are totally reasonable people. They didn't give me a hard time. They didn't go and tell me to use their fucking pronoun. And look, I don't care if somebody goes, excuse me, Ron, or excuse me, sir, would you please use this pronoun instead? But I would hope some of them would understand that. Like, I can't keep track of everyone. If I see boobs on a woman, I'm going to think they're a woman. And if you know for certain that someone prefers a certain pronoun, you go out of your way to use the other one, that might be a little bit of a dick move. But if you genuinely can't keep track, it's like, I don't think people should be faulted for that, because it is like, it is just not standard manufacturing model or whatever. A transgender person is not the floor model. Wow, okay, maybe I said that wrong. But I digress. What else do we want to talk about? I hope I covered that topic. I hope I didn't offend James by kind of like, skimming through the article there. James disappeared. You all right, man? You all right? Whatever, I'm sure you're here. But, oh, here we are. Org, not com. Did I just go to the wrong page? Let's try that again. SaveJames.org. Is that right? Is that right? What do we? All right, there we go. So let's drop the link. I don't know who James is, but let's save him from chemical castration, because that sounds fucked up. Give, send, go. James, thank you very much. I apologize for taking so long to see your message where you specified .org, not .com. The compelled speech is what broke me. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a reasonable point of view, Dave. Definitely be interested if you want to expand on that, but I know what you're saying. Focusing on gender instead of careers is always smart, in my opinion. Not. That's a valid point. I mean, look, once again, if someone's not comfortable in their skin, power to them, but it's true, like, careers matter, and income matters. It affects your happiness. Just the other day, I saw this judge. It's the bald guy who looks sort of like Rick Moranis, but bald. You ever see that judge who looks like Vic Moranis but bald? And he's basically like telling some kid and his mom, like, dude, you were caught with a pew-pew in a car, and your life isn't going to be good if you keep this path up. And basically, he's like, I want what's good for you, kid. So, yeah, he's basically telling the kid, I'm not going to throw you in jail, but you got to get a drug test. And if you come up positive for weed in 30, 40 days, you know, we'll throw the book at you. But he's saying, look, you follow the program. He's explaining to the kid, like, you know, not finishing school, hanging out with fellow, with gangbangers, getting caught with firearms in the car is going to just bring you in and out of jail, and you're not going to have money, and you're going to be an unhappy person, and he's talking about going on vacation and all that. Not everyone's happy going on vacation. Some people just want to sit back and smoke a blunt. But nonetheless, the point was that a life of crime, a life of being in and out of the, being in the system, it is not, ideal. And I think he really was looking out for the kids' interest. And I forgot how we got there. Oh, yeah, we were talking about this topic here about careers and stuff like that. And so it's sort of like when we talked about abortion last week, and I said something along the lines of I'm more concerned about the woman, in that if you misrepresent abortion to somebody, you make it sound like it's like a solid alternative to birth control that you can just willy-nilly go about doing. And you don't encourage, it's not victim blaming, telling somebody you should probably keep track of your ovulations after you got laid. It's like you literally know you got laid. I know if I got laid, I would fucking know. I would definitely know I got laid, okay? I would not, that's not something I would forget anytime soon, okay? So if I was a woman who got laid, even if I had more mileage, I'm pretty sure I would remember when I last got laid. And I would want to maybe be aware if I didn't wear rubber, if the other person didn't wear rubber. Yeah, I'd want to know if I had something in me. Now, does anybody know how much a pregnancy test costs? Like, how much did a piss test cost? Hey, what up, DJ Play Nice? Good to see you. Let's look it up real quick. I always wondered. I actually don't know the answer to this. Pregnancy test. Right, so we're going to go look up test for a urinary pregnancy test. And $10, 6 days sooner. And there's only 2 tests. So, like, here's the thing. Would it be cheaper if Planned Parenthood was funded in such a way that they could provide maybe 5 free pregnancy tests every week to any woman who wanted them? I figure if you just got laid a week ago and you get 5 of these a week for multiple weeks in a row and you whiz on them every single morning or afternoon or whatever, sure, some of them aren't going to come up positive. I know people make up lies. They go that some women don't know they're pregnant even 8 weeks out, 12 weeks out. I call bullshit on it, but let's just say that's true. Maybe it is. I honestly don't know. Well, the pregnancy test would probably be popping positive a few times prior to the point in time you would be noticing that, And so not only is it potentially a more efficient expenditure of, tax dollars, or in this case, when I say tax dollars, I'm referring to national debt, because realistically, the tax dollars we pay to the federal government, federal tax receipts, I believe they're mostly going into paying for the interest payments on the national debt. But I digress. We're not here to get overly technical here. Well, we are, but it's just for fun. But my point is that it would be a more efficient expenditure of tax dollars. The problem is that it's not just, the cost that when a woman gets that procedure, certain procedures done, depending on what extent it's performed, I mean, that can have effects on the uteruses, That can have long-term effects. You get an abortion at a certain point, within a few weeks, let's say. Your body, 9 months after you conceived, sometimes, if not, I don't know how often this happens, but I do know that this does happen. 9 months after you conceive, your body goes through the process, like the hormones that activate in order to, cause the contractions and all of that, they get triggered. So you don't have a baby in you anymore because it's been removed. But, and, I'm sure some abortion person would be like, oh, it's a fetus, not a baby. I don't give a shit. But you don't have, a life form in you anymore. And your body still triggers the hormonal processes that you would go through. So, not only do you feel contractions, not only do you go to the bathroom and expel something else, but I mean, it's heart wrenching. Okay, it's definitely emotionally heart wrenching. That's my point. So yeah, I give a shit about the women. I'm not just trying to be like a moral, moral Nazi or some bullshit like that, And I do want to say hello to Awesome One and Punk Model. How you doing? Always wear your thinking cap. Okay, that's not a euphemism. Always wear your thinking cap and use protection. I'm not sure if that is sarcasm or ponderance. ... Women have nightmares and PTSD after. Exactly. No, I'm not even kidding. That's correct. Awesome One. My mother did a show on community access public TV back in the 90s. I think it was late 90s, early 2000s. And sometimes it was a show about, religion. Other times it was a show about other topics. The show she did was called Lifeline. And I think on this episode, she interviewed different people, including Sisters of Life, a group of, nuns. In fact, let's see if we can find them real quick. Let's see how the Sisters of Life are doing. Yeah, they exist. They're in New York. And so she had like 3 nuns on the show talking about, abortion. The particular episode was called Post-Abortion Distress. And it was literally what you're talking about, women having nightmares and PTSD after terminating a pregnancy. And I'm not saying that what these ladies here offer is for everybody, but I'm glad they exist because, like, it is fucked up when everyone else is telling you it's totally cool. And then when you go to the emotional stuff, you might have help, you might not. But knowing the system, you go see a shrink and they medicate you. So it's like not quite the holistic approach, I would say. But holy crap, we went down a rabbit hole. So we went down a technical rabbit hole at the beginning. Thank you guys for the patience on the, the audio thing. Glad we figured that out. Oh yeah, let's see if we can react to a video. And speaking of reacting, we're not going to react per se. We're going to watch it. You guys should be able to hear the audio on this one, right? Actually, I don't know. I didn't read this, so let's see what it says. James's mother has filed in the Los Angeles Superior Court to chemically castrate James. Jesus fucking buggery Christ. This is an emergency appeal. Please donate now and save James. Man, I'm broke. Well, not broke. I'm broke until 2 days from now. Amber! Good to see you, sweetheart. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Oh, I'm going to check out your message in a minute, Lady Mist. James's mother has... Oh, yeah. That bitch filed in the Los Angeles Superior Court to chemically castrate James because she's a nasty runt. A runt cag. Jeff, James's father, is trying to stop that bitch. Your donation will help with legal fees to prevent the chemical castration of James. Expert witness fees to prove that medical gender transition is not in James's interest. Other payments and expenses ordered by the court. Defending and caring for James is very expensive. Advancing legislation to end these barbaric procedures on kids once and for all. Please donate now and save James. Now, I don't know what James wants. I don't know if it matters. I mean, I guess it does matter what James wants, right? Legally, in the eyes of the law, I guess it might not matter what James wants. But I guess psychologically it matters. On the other hand, we would argue that a minor doesn't have, the knowledge to make that type of decision at that stage in their life. But yeah, James sent us a link about a young boy named James. I'd imagine James could relate just because the kid's name is James. But, choose whether or not you want to share this or donate it based on your conscience. I don't know the full story, but there's a lot of information here. And so, anybody who's interested in this can review, the video, can review the writing here, and, decide what they think. I don't know if it was an activist mommy who's just imposing her will on a kid because she just divorced her husband and wants to show how in vogue she is, or if she knows something about her son that we don't know. And James looks like a fairly normal boy. He doesn't look like any boy who needs to be chemically castrated. I do think that's extremely unfair because that's a procedure that cannot be reversed. So yeah, it's kind of shitty. If what I'm reading is accurate, that's kind of shitty. And I do want to say hello to my friends here. We have the when deep call is deep. I was going to say when the call deep call. See, I was going to say that backwards. When the deep call is deep. I just want to say hello to Norma. I was thinking about you. How you doing? Good to see you. I'm not wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt. but I am wearing my Stargate SG1 shirt. Oh, let me go on full screen. See? Look, see, it says SG1. I love Stargate. In fact, when we rebooted the computer, that was one of the things we had on screen. We had a Stargate SG1. The video audio was way louder than you. Okay, so we got to iron out some kinks there, and I don't mean that in a kinky way. But let's put that audio on. Yes, video audio. Yeah, that makes sense. So that's because of this right over here. I was gonna bring that down here. But I do want to give a shout out to my boy Pop Culture Republic. He's a cool dude. If I wasn't streaming right now, I would totally play his show. Oh, cool, an airplane. I wonder if that Japanese guy's here. He's not. I have a Japanese guy I follow, and what he does is he makes thopters. He makes drones that flap their wings. It's so cool. And he lives somewhere deep in Japan. How's the audio here? You guys know this guy? Town Wrestling. This guy's a cool cat, too. I streamed with him before. Look, I think Awesome One's in the chat. I thought I saw Awesome One's name here for a second. But you know what Awesome One did introduce me to? Awesome One put me on to sumo. It is Awesome One's fault that I watch sumo wrestling. In fact, I got a video we could react to right now. Real quick, let's get a look at Toonie. What the hell? Oh, let's load the audio. I'm sorry.
I called him and I apologized and I went to.
Okay, he's not in puppet mode today, but this guy's cool. He's got a puppet that he normally.
And then right after that, I want to do.
But I got something to show you guys.
Yeah. So.
Okay, this is gonna be ridiculous. This is gonna be absolutely ridiculous. So just bear with me with the ridiculousness of this. This happened about, I think, 5 years ago. it's fucking insane. Let me see if I can find the right video here. There's two versions of this video. I want to make sure we get the right one. Okay, I got two videos for you guys. I'm going to play two videos because I feel like we need to give you guys the full context. Okay? So there's a sumo wrestler. His name is Asayana. Asayana. I got to see the spelling of the name to be able to pronounce it. Asayana? I must say it here somewhere. Usually what I do is I Google the name and then it eventually comes up with the correct spelling. Okay, let's see here. Sumo wrestler Asayana. Yeah, is that it? No, it's Asakayama. Awesome One. Do you remember the guy's name? Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I mean, it does matter, but we'll be here all day trying to look up. And I'll tell you, it has nothing to do with the video I'm about to show you. But Awesome One shared a live stream with me. And it's like a channel where he's, I think, a mod on, where they watch and react to the sumo competition. And I kind of gained a little bit of respect for it. Because it's like, you know, the body mass of the sumo wrestler is part of the challenge, right? It's sort of like you plant yourself and the other guy can't push you off the mat. But at one point, I saw one of the sumo wrestlers lift the other guy up and toss him like a little bit. It's like, damn, it takes a lot of energy out of you. Angela Curry loves sumo wrestling. Hey, what up, the Padawannabe? And JKM? JKM. Oh, that's kind of cool. I get it. Yeah, I got to switch the way I share the chats on screen so that we can see more of the emojis. Hey, Ronnie G, how are you doing tonight? I'm still trying to figure out something we can do together. Oh, yeah, man, like we can talk about anything together, man. I'll just have you on. Just like Pop Talk, you know, just like Mike's show, Pacific 414 Pop Talk, right? Ain't that what they do? You should check out some of the sumo wrestling Ooh. Interesting. I'm enthralled right there. Sumo wrestling video games. And there's even one for the N64? Okay, I thought it was Commodore 64, which would sound even more bizarre. All right. Yeah, it is hard to find a channel. I do have a video bookmarked on my phone, though, so I could probably pull that up in a second because I downloaded the last live stream. So there's a possibility it's still on my downloads list if you didn't take it down. And, you know, if not, you know. But if you do find a link, I got to make you a mod, Awesome One. I was actually thinking about this earlier this afternoon. I was like, gee whiz, I should make Awesome One a mod so that he could share links like that. Whether or not you want the responsibility, You now have the responsibility, and with great responsibility comes power. Let it go to your head. Okay, so anyway, let's play this back. This is gonna be ridiculous. You're gonna love this. So there's two versions of this. Watch the Washington Post edition of this because I think the coverage they provided was pretty good. Ew, 480p? The Washington Post posted 480p? Yeah, by all means, share it. This is gonna be ridiculous. Back then, by the way, President Trump and Shinzo Abe were like really good buddies. Like they spent like weekends together just kind of hanging out and touring the country and doing shit together. And of course, as you know, Shinzo Abe was shot like a couple of years ago, I think. You know, just some guy, I think it might have been part of like, they have this weird cult church that I think was started by a Korean group, if I remember correctly. And a guy from that group, I believe if I remember correctly, that's the guy who shot Shinzo Abe, but don't quote me on it. And I remember when Wakazashi's Tea House mentioned it, he wasn't even willing to mention it. Like, it's almost like in Japan, they have a bit of a censorship issue, I guess. I don't really understand it because I know Japan is a cohesive society. Oh, catch you later, David. Have a good night, man. Pleasant dreams, bud. But yeah, anyway, let's just get right to it. And I do want to say hello to Jacob Ironside. How you doing, bud? All right, let's watch this video. We're going to watch 2 videos relating to this topic. It's going to be pretty absurd.
Certificate of commemoration. Asa Noyama. Hideki.
Asa Noyama.
In honor of your outstanding achievement as sumo grand champion, I hereby award you the United States President's Cup, May 26, Reiwa.
Now, I want to be clear. The United States President's Cup, I don't know if that's a real award, if that was made up that year. I have a feeling the President's Cup was something that was created for that year so that Trump could give a trophy to a sumo wrestler. But I could be wrong. If anybody knows more about this let me know. But let's keep rolling.
One, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Thank you.
But like, I've never heard of the President's Cup. I don't know if it's, I'm going to Google it. Okay, so it is a thing. No, it's not a thing. It's a golf thing. It has nothing to do with sumo. So, yeah, I've never heard of this. But apparently President Trump is the first president to give the... Yeah, I remember now. This is the first President's Cup. And obviously Joe Biden didn't do a President's Cup the following, year, right? Like, why would he continue something that, Trump started? But it's absolutely funny. And that shit was heavy, yo. Like, even the guy, he's probably thinking, like, what am I going to do with this fucking giant thing? I mean, I guess he could sell it for scrap metal, but, like, people live in tiny houses in Japan. They can't store giant trophies. But yeah, Asayama. And then there's actually a backstory to this. So the president had to spend an hour practicing how to bow. He had to be trained on how to bow. I'm sorry, sound is low. Sorry about that. He supposedly spent an hour practicing how to bow. Because if, let's say you're a person of higher status and you bow deeply, the person of lower status or the person who's of common status has to bow more deeply than the person of high status. And so obviously you can imagine how this would be an issue for a sumo wrestler with, the extra body mass, wearing that tight underwear belt that they wear. So they made sure that, that Trump understood it to bow deeply enough, but not so deeply that the guy can't bow any deeper. They also had to explain to Asayama that, it's okay to shake the president's hand. I mean, they arranged for it ahead of time. The Secret Service certainly knew that, they were going to shake hands. But someone like Asayama would not have been aware that it was okay to shake a prime minister or an American president's hand. So they had to also, inform. Not awesome one. That happened like years ago. Specifically, that was 5 years ago. And then we're going to watch the NHK coverage now because NHK. Oh, I just remembered. I know what I want to show you guys, but let's watch this real quick. I have a treat for you guys. I have a real treat for you guys today. You're gonna love this. I remember the IP address of the computer with my TV screen on it. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Certificate
It's the same
of
shit. Okay,
commemoration.
let's see if someone else has dropped another
Asano
link. I'm gonna
Yama.
pull up something special for you
In
guys. Something real
In
special.
honor of your
Yeah, this is the
outstanding
same thing. I'm
achievement
sorry, guys. I don't want to waste your time.
as sumo
But
grand champion.
that happened. That did happen. So yeah, take that as you might. But real quick, we're gonna pull up something special for you guys. Oh yeah, I remember how give me a second. Let me just log into my backyard PC. Oh no, it's the basement PC. Okay, we're gonna log into the basement PC, and we're gonna open up a folder with some specialized TV recordings on it from my DVR. We have it right over here. Okay, there it is. It's loading. Okay, I got a real treat for you kiddos right here. You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to party? Okay, you can see it right here, right? So, anyway, these are my DVR recordings, and I had to offload them off the DVR, and I have to re-encode them to make the video file smaller, because a half hour of video normally is not 800 megabytes, but when you record DVR recordings off the cable networks, they are recorded in MPEG-2 by default. So you end up with like a rather large file. So where's my VLC media player? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I mean, look, I just rebooted my computer, opened a lot of tabs, didn't have time to clean them up because I had, you know, something muted unexpectedly before the stream started, so we're just gonna roll with it. Alright, so I recorded the NHK channel, speaking of Japan, right? Hey, where's the sound? Oh, there it is. And this is the, you know, you can get this on most cable TV channel lineups. Thank you, California Ford 44. It's good to see you. Come on, man. I bet sumo wrestlers have a very large compound that rivals the Vatican City. Video? What video? Oh, this video.
Supplicants silently press their hands together in prayer for spiritual peace.
Right. Ms. Amber,
for
have a
over
lovely
a
night.
millennium, Buddhist statues have listened to their wishes and prayers with mercy.
I can't really hear my audio, so I'm going to raise the volume. So, sometimes you get some boring crap on the channel, right? Almost like PBS.
The Buddhist
Did Punk
statues
leaving
within
too?
the myriad temples
Punk
dotting
you have a good
Kyoto
night if you
have
said that.
attracted
Or maybe
the
Amber saying
undying
good night.
devotion of the faithful
Well, anyway,
through the
good to see
centuries.
I lost the folders.
Of these, 36 are national treasures, and 400 are important cultural
So we're going to
properties.
see if we see anything we like here, right? Yeah, it's super
Everyone
duper low
offers
def. They
prayers
took
to
low
the
def video,
statues of the-
standard definition,
which stands 25 meters tall, is assembled and erected.
and they converted it to
Logs and bamboo are
widescreen.
fastened together using ropes and metal rings. The Hokogashira tip is fitted to the
I'm also
end
kind
of
of
the
curious, to be
shingi.
honest, guys. I'm doing a test. I want to see if this triggers
The
the
Kikusui
copyright thing.
Hoko's tip is a 16-petaled gold
I don't think it
chrysanthemum.
should trigger the copyright thing, but we're going to find out right now. Dayamatsu. What is that, a Christmas tree? Is that the Rockefeller Center tree, but for Tokyo Tower?
After the shingi is attached to the frame, everyone in the community receives blessed paper streamers, long used in Shinto rituals. They make wishes and attach them
Oh,
to
they're going
the
to set that on fire.
side features a pair of
Are they setting that on fire, or are they
The
just hanging it
community's
up?
emblem is a carp swimming up a waterfall. Chinese legend tells that once the carp reaches the top, it turns into a dragon. So the statue symbolizes a prayer that leads the procession of 33 Yamahoko. The large halberd at the top is
Nagamira
believed
Hoke.
to expel and protect against illness and misfortune.
Oh, that's cool. It's a sword.
The Naginata Hoko is the only float
Yo,
with
I
a
want to get an
child
umbrella
riding up
like
front.
that next time it...
The Chigo,
it's
or
rainy
sacred
season.
child, is a Kyoto resident.
I don't
But
care. I
during
want the
the
umbrella for
festival,
this summer.
he is a
I'll use it
child of the
anytime.
Naginato
Oh,
Bokocho
see
community
that kabuki
and
doll?
is the
Is that a
servant
human?
of the deities.
Wait, is that a human being? Oh, it's a kid. That's a
The
kid. That's not a
Chiyo does
kabuki
not
doll. That
walk
was a
on the
kid.
tainted ground and is carried on
So
the
I had an
shoulders of
idea.
a local
You know how
resident.
Snowed Up and everyone does the puppets? I was thinking about getting a kabuki theater doll. So I go on eBay to look one up. It's like $500. So at that point, I kind of just decided not to get one. But one of these days, if I'm adventurous, yeah, I would love to build a kabuki theater doll and show up with it, like doing the kabuki thing. Wait, is that a kabuki doll? Oh, that is a kabuki doll. That's not a kid. It looks like a kid, but
The
it's not.
Naginato Hoko's departure is the signal to the other 32 floats to move. On its current course, the procession proceeds east.
Wow, it's just like the Riverwalk in Texas. So we're gonna skim through these real quick. We're not gonna watch them in their entirety. I just want to see what's good here. So my problem is I have to see if
Then
there's any
become an
duplicate
example.
episodes here
Simply by getting
before
involved and showing
I delete any.
Pickled inside.
If I could delete the duplicates, that would save some
Osmotic
time.
pressure primarily dehydrates the sugukina, and the salt penetrates the flesh.
They are not making drugs. That is not cheese. Looks like cheese.
This time-consuming task is repeated every 12 hours.
Oh, that device is like a wand to cast out demons. Sadly, can't cast out demons with demons. Well, look, at the end of the day, look, Japan didn't have Christianity. I'm sorry, like, I know God existed forever and shit, but, I mean, I'm gonna say that
They
God
take the
partitioned the
pickles out
world
1
into
week later.
sections, and that the
Suzuki, with its
Japan, the
characteristic
Japanese
acidity, is ready to eat
are
3
in a
weeks or
separate
so after
partition.
the turnips
And
are
yeah,
harvested.
sure, they now they adapt Christianity, but I can empathize with their resistance to the West before, or during the arrival of Admiral or Commodore Perry was the guy with the steamships that showed up in Japan and basically used gunboat
Even with the
diplomacy
advent of
to
electric
convince them to
presses and
conduct trade
heaters,
with us,
the Tazurus
to convince them
insist
to
on
stop being
pickling the traditional
isolationists.
way.
So like, I watch this group, they're called Little Light Studios. I don't really watch them. Is it
This
a log?
farm
It
makes
looks like, that looks like a log. So these guys, what they'll do is they analyze the
some
anime
500
for like
years
fucking
ago.
Matt Wong.
Monko was
And
a
they'll say that
popular
anime is
pastime in
satanic. But the thing
aristocratic
is, they
circles,
misinterpret it because a
in
lot
which
of anime,
participants burn fragrant
they
woods
are
and
opposing
guessed
demons.
the
Like
sense.
Sailor Moon, it's like, yes, they have demonic bullshit on Sailor Moon, but most of the time, the good guys
The
are opposing the
participants' sense
demonic
of smell
bullshit.
was
So
numbed
I don't
after
see
smelling
how,
incense for long
that particular
periods.
anime
So
promotes,
to clear their noses,
demonic
they
bullshit,
would whiff aromatic miso-pickled vegetables, commonly served
And
with meals.
I just think that as far as parents go, the parents of those kids
Hence,
are
tsukemono
ruining their
came to
kids'
be
fun.
referred to as
On the
konomono,
other hand,
or fragrant food.
Maybe that's why we have so many kids dyeing their hair purple today, because of anime. Now that you don't need to, we don't need to invoke the devil to say,
Another
hey,
major
maybe
variety
too
of
many
Choto
kids have purple hair
tsukemono
because
has
of
a
anime.
distinct purplish
But then again,
tinge
it's purple
and a
hair. But anyway,
richness
I digress.
within its sourness.
What is that? Is that eggplant?
Shibazuke, another major
The scent of red shiso.
variety of Choto tsukemono,
How's the audio, guys? Can you hear both me and the video? Let me know if you have trouble hearing the video or myself, okay?
has a distinct purplish tinge and a richness within its
Did I get any
sourness.
messages, by the way? I gotta check my Twitter because I haven't
Early
checked my
summer
Twitter in
at
20
Ohara in Kyoto's
in an
northeast.
hour. I mean, it's probably too late now.
The
Disney Sheepherder
red
said he wanted to
fresh-scented
come
shiso
through.
is ready for harvesting.
Okay, good news is Disney Sheepherder did not reply to my message, so hopefully I did not miss a message from Disney Sheepherder. He said he was going to come through if he could make it.
The leaves are used to make shibazuke, an Ohara specialty.
Bosque.
This farm makes and sells these pickles. Masaru Kubo and his son Hajime produce them entirely by hand.
Okay, I want to know. Okay, that's eggplant.
The
I'm Italian,
only
I know
agent is
eggplant.
salt, so the flavor and texture of the shibazuke depends on the amount of salt used.
Thank you for confirming. And thank you. Thank you both. Once you've salted them, it's impossible to take out the excess salt or add more if necessary. You've only got one chance to get it right.
They place weights on top of the barrels to remove the eggplant's harsh juices. Otherwise, the pickle's color is unappetizing and has a pungent
It does
smell.
look like cabbage. It looks like they're mixing cabbage and eggplant. Wow. I wonder if they throw the juice.
The next morning. Before the staff arrives, Kubo begins work at the maturation house, where the pickles are lacto-fermented. The quality of the pickle's texture depends on the weight of the stones, so Kubo will not allow others to adjust them.
Oh, he's a control freak. He's like, you don't adjust the weights but me. Much of the juicy shibazuke you get obviously wasn't processed enough.
重いとね、カスカスになりますよね。やっぱり嫌ですね、そういうの作るの。ですから、重さに関してはかなり神経使ってますけども。
I guess if you have to ferment something, you want to get it right. Otherwise you waste a lot of time. It's starting to smell like shibazuke, but it looks like something that rhymes with shit. Let's have a taste. Is that a health department violation? It's good. Of course, I'm relieved. You just use garbage pails. Okay, they're bucket.
This traditional Ohara delicacy tempts both the eyes and appetites.
Yeah, I was supposed to show you guys this at the beginning of the stream, but when the audio didn't work, I forgot.
A local Ohara chef combines shibazuke with local produce to concoct original dishes. Shibazuke is even more fragrant when heated.
Oh.
The day
I probably should have skipped that. Ah, a gaijin. Another gaijin.
Different, very different, but very good.
European.
日本の伝統食材ですので、その中でも三大漬物の一つしば漬け、それをいかに料理の中に取り入れて食べやすくまた変わった形で提供できればもっと可能性が広がるんじゃないかなと思っています。
I guess. And in this case, cooked a certain way.
Traditional pickles open new culinary possibilities.
With pickles. Oh no, it's pickled. Alright, enough on pickles. I think we've had enough of vegetables for this episode, huh? Let's keep going. Oh, this is gonna be fun. They're doing something interesting here. The women were happy that the men got the water. Oh, cool. Decorated horses. Big horse. The journey continues.
February.
Oh, is this gonna be the one with the Japanese fireworks? Is it got fish? We pray for nothing bad to happen.
Through these age-old customs, Kyotoites endeavor to safeguard their families and homes.
Alright, so they safeguarding. Oh, cool. An abu.
This rite is reenacted at Yoshida Jinja each year.
They have these on Naruto.
The Tsuina Preservation Society was set up by the shrine's parishioners to perform the ritual in dedication to the deity.
Alright, that's a deity demon, alright.
Neighboring Kamishichiken Entertainment District lives on.
Boring. No. I mean, if I'm really bored, I can watch any of these shows. Yeah, I'm really glad I recorded. I got a crap ton of these.
Including Crimea.
I got like, how many? I got like 300 episodes of these. And I'm not sure if any of them are duplicates. But I'm a big Japanophile, so I can watch
more
this
generations. Fujimoto's eldest son and grandson participate.
吉田の鬼は怖いという昔からそう言われてますんで、その怖い鬼をどんだけ表現できるかと思ったという。
Oh, he's gonna dress up as a monster and scare the shit out of the kids.
The parishioners prepare for the day they will pray for a tranquil new year.
Most are relieved that the new Year that they survived to see another year. But we don't feel the new year has come until Setsubun over. Nothing is more important than Setsubun. I guess that's New Year.
On Setsubun, Heian citizens made the Shiho Mayuri,
And
or
not one of
pilgrimage of
them
the compass points,
lessons
to the
on how
shrines and
to
temple
learn
that
the
protected
language.
the capital.
Hey, look, I watch anime. I already know Japanese. One time, I was watching Mobile Suit Victory Gundam without subtitles, and I watched it for 12 minutes without noticing. So apparently, subconsciously, I understood what was being said. Right. So I think we saw enough about Japanese New Year's. Oh, wait, let's see the guy scares the shit out of the kids. I want to see that. I want to see the guy scaring the crap out of kids so badly.
Derived from bakeru, to disguise.
Ooh, cool.
Once upon a time, common folk believed that if they dressed differently on the day of Setsubun, they would escape the eyes of the Oni and dodge
Dude, that sounds like Halloween.
misfortune.
Dress like
Today, this
evil
tradition is
spirits and escape misfortune, right? It's sort of like how Halloween, you dress as a ghost so that the evil spirits or whatever don't attack you because you blend in with the spirits.
only upheld in some entertainment districts.
The Geiko and Mako not only dress up differently, but they also entertain their guests with unusual performances. Look how small like Japan is. Like they got a beautiful garden here, but like notice there's like no extra space. That is like probably considered a decently sized garden wherever she's located.
Tea houses are busy on Setsubun night. Customers dine on fine food, and everyone enjoys the obake
I'm
performances.
pretty sure a tea house is more like a sake house.
The comical gestures of the usually graceful geiko delight the customers.
That's kind of funny.
In pairs, they perform traditional song and dance, which are not part of their usual repertory.
They are very accomplished in the art. It was a good show. They thoroughly entertained us. Magnificent. I didn't realize it would be so enjoyable. We received a great fortune. It is indeed a day when you can laugh, your troubles away, and sorrows over. I'm trying to speak in the right meaning. Apparently I still speak English. And let in positive energy.
The obake performances lift the spirits of the guests,
Oh, look at
who
it. She got
are
like
eagerly
a
awaiting
extra,
the arrival
like,
of spring.
You know, like if she gets sweaty, she's like using a towel on her face. Okay, it's not a towel. It's definitely, you know, part of the kimono or the costume. So that's great. We learned about Setsubun today. Does anybody want to skim through one more? Oh, that was cool. Let's check that shit out. That looks fucking cool. A little bit satanic looking. No, I'm kidding. The jokes aside, this is, you know, Shinto tradition, I believe. So, I mean, I wouldn't consider it quite comparable to the Western religion.
Nobuhiro Fujimura puts on the mask of the Red Oni.
I want to pronounce his name. Nobuhiro Fujimura. I got it. See, Slim? It does teach us how to read Japanese. I mean, we watched most of this episode. We might as well make it to the end and see what happens.
Motohiro Fujimura leads the procession.
Ah, that's correct. Ohayo gozaimasu. I thought it was gozaimasu. Or like gozaimasu. But you're saying Ohayo gozaimasu.
Arrives at the main shrine, attended by the children.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
The ritual begins.
Put him to the stake. It's got 4 eyes.
The 3 Oni enter, one at a time.
I bet it's cold outside.
The red Oni that embodies anger threatens the spectators. The blue Oni symbolizes sorrow.
Oni-chan. That's
And the
one
yellow
of
Oni
Magmi's
represents
pieces,
suffering.
actually. Yellow Oni is suffering.
As soon as he ascertains that the 3 Oni are wreaking havoc in the world, the Hososhi makes his move. Together with the children, he chases the raging Oni away. The Hososhi's powers gradually weaken the Oni, and they escape through the Torii Gate.
Yo, this hasn't triggered the copyright system at all. I think we're gonna make a habit of watching like part of an episode of this every week.
Court officials put
I won't
peach wood
waste the whole
arrows
show
to
doing
reed
it, but I think
bows
we're gonna
and
do
shoot
this.
them into the sky,
We're gonna make a
driving
habit
the
of this
Oni
because
even
this is
further
not
away.
triggering the copyright system at all. So it's like, let's do it.
The fervent parishioners have
Maybe I'll
succeeded in
curate the
saving
best
Kyoto
episodes
from
or something
calamity
and
for another
set this
year.
aside. But I think we got something here. I think we got a gem here. We've already DVR recorded all of it.
幸せな
I'm
一
gonna
年
continue
が
recording this.
来ることを、はい、
I was
僕が
successfully
代わりに払われたんで願います。代わりに払われ、はい、僕が
I was
代わりに払われることを。
too fast. I was successfully expelled as the Oni, so I hope we have happiness in the coming year. We prayed for Japan's peace and safety, and happiness of its citizens. I'm relieved that everything went without a hitch. I'm nodding my head like he is. I'm exhausted.
People
Well, he
of
could see
long
it
ago
live. Why don't
did
you
not have the
translate that?
technology nor the knowledge to fight the natural phenomena and illnesses that plagued their lives. They did not resist these invisible forces, but prayed that they would be quelled. Out with the demons, in with fortune. A new year is dawning in Kyoto.
Well, that's very fortunate that they have fortune. DJ Horoni G. Oh, damn it, I gotta translate that shit. Give me a minute.
NHK World Japan
Translate
Program Guide.
to English.
Asia Insight. Stories behind the world's largest continent.
DJ
as it
loves
faces
Japan.
political,
I do,
economic,
thank you.
cultural, and
I
technological
would translate
change.
that to the Romanji. Let's translate that to Romanji.
On the program's website, you can find more information.
We're
and
gonna
watch the
translate
show
that to
anytime
Romanji.
via video on demand. What is happening now in Japan and the rest of Asia?
How do I get Romanji?
What's the latest news and the story behind
DJs
them?
love Japan.
Oh, here I got it. Got it. I can say it. Okay, I'm gonna read what he sent to me. You ready? DJ wa Nihon ga daisuki. Wait, daisuki. Okay. DJ wa Nihon ga daisuki. And it's true. I do love Japan. I'm quite fond of Japan, Japanese culture, and I appreciate our history with Japan, you know? I'm actually reading a good book right now. In fact, let's really quickly, we're going to cover one more thing. I'm just going to pull up my Audible account so I can show you the book that I'm literally reading. I'm not literally reading it right now, but I'm actively reading it like at present, like not even kidding. So we're going to pull up that book as soon as I get signed into my Audible account. For some reason, when I signed into my Audible account, it sent me to Amazon. Okay, there we go. We're back on Audible. Then we're going to go to my library. I'll share my screen. Excuse me. Those poor kids will lose that yelling match with me. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, there's a typo there. Those poor kids will lose that yelling match with Slim. All right. So the book I'm reading is what is the thing? The Rising Sun? Yep, there it is. I think I need to drink coffee. Anyway, okay, jokes aside. This is a book called The Rising Sun. The Pulitzer Prize winning history of World War II chronicles the dramatic rise of the Japanese Empire from the invasion of Manchuria and China to the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Told from the Japanese perspective, The Rising Sun, in the author's words, a factual saga of people caught up in the flood of the most overwhelming war of mankind, told as it happened, muddled, ennobling, disgraceful, frustrating, full of paradox. In weaving together the historical excuse me. In weaving together the historical facts and human drama leading up to and culminating in the war in the Pacific, Toland crafts a riveting and unbiased narrative history. So basically, like, what I thought was interesting so far in this book is that there was intent to negotiate. I mean, they were negotiating, but one of the ambassadors was trying his darndest to get an audience with Roosevelt because he thought he could, avert war if he did. And at this point, the Japanese already, invaded Indochina, which is South Vietnam, basically, or South Indochina. They, I believe, were already in Manchuria at this point, or partially invading China. And at this point in time, one of the overtures to war that occurred on our end was we supplied 100 pilots and advisors to an aircraft factory in China in order to help, the Chinese learn to build planes and fly the planes and all of these things. So they had an issue with that. But of course, at this point, we were putting the screws on Japan, right? We were blockading them or putting up the embargo. And so in the treaty, one of the concessions they wanted was like to be able to, place an order for like 100 million gallons of aviation gasoline, which back then they used aviation grade gasoline to run the piston engines, for example, on their fighters. And if Japan didn't have that, they were in a position where they had a choice, which was basically they would have to invade before the winter, or before say Pearl, when they did Pearl Harbor. If they waited somewhat after Pearl Harbor, after December 7th, for example, if they waited much, a year later, 6 months after that, they would not have been able to oppose us. But if they had any hope, because it was either roll over and become a bitch without putting in a fight. And unfortunately, you had these, the military hardliners were more inclined to, be aggressive, to build up the military, to, take aggressive stances. The diplomats and the prime minister, even the Emperor Hirohito, he was not in favor of war. He was kind of rolling with it, but it wasn't common. Like, he did intercede during some of the meetings. Or at least one big meeting, he kind of told everyone to shut the fuck up and spoke his mind. But in general, it's not common. It's generally unprecedented back then for the emperor to intercede during those types of processes, during their, their governmental processes under their democratic government, under the government that was elected, so to speak. And apparently at the time, the Japanese Navy had some level of autonomy. I'm still trying to hash it out. I'm still trying to understand it. But there seemed to be some autonomy. So when Tojo got put in charge, apparently Tojo is not just a racial slur. It's the name of the prime minister going into the war, apparently, if I remember correctly. Japan prime minister. So yeah, Hideki Tojo, or Tojo Hideki, December 3rd, 1884 birthday. Japanese politician, prime minister from 1941 to 44. And president of the Imperial Rural Assistance Association from 41 to 44 during World War II. And convicted war criminal. Dude, he tried. Okay, I didn't really finish the book yet, so I don't know. But at the point in the book, he was one of the not so hardliner liners. So some people who were interested in peace, they were in favor of him becoming prime minister because they knew that he had respect among the military, and that if anyone had hope of avoiding open revolt, it would have been him. he sort of like was like that bridge between the politicians and the military. And one of the things I remember I was learning about a couple months ago, was that there was a point in time well before World War II when some guy, I forgot if it was the prime minister or someone else, got assassinated. And it turned out like there was a precedent set in Japan where if someone assassinates a political official, but they have a justification for it, you kind of get a free pass. It had like a Japanese word for it. And so, unfortunately, this meant that once they gave a free pass at one point in time, it meant that other people might decide to, conspire to conduct an assassination. And, you can see how this might affect stability or make things challenging. So when the, I believe it was the diplomat, what's his name? The consul, what do you call the guy? The diplomat. I forgot what they call him. Ambassador, I guess. In order to fly to DC, they had to like get TWA to delay a flight by 2 days, and then they had to sneak him onto the plane because they didn't want anyone to know that, anyone locally to know that he was trying to make his way to the U.S. in order to, negotiate some kind of settlement. And some people thought that some of the concessions they would have to follow through on would have been too shameful for their taste. And of course, you guys know the rest of it. The logic was, look, for example, Emperor Hirohito was one of these guys who, he attended school in the United States. If I remember correctly, he went to Harvard or Yale. Did I say Emperor? I meant General Yamamoto. Let me see. General Yamamoto School. What school did he go to? Yamamoto went to the Imperial Navy. Oh, yeah, Harvard. He went to Harvard, yeah. And so he did not want to go to war for us necessarily. He liked us. He was, he knew our land. He was familiar with our customs. But he's also, a Japanese person. He's got loyalty to his own nation. So when war could not be averted, and I'm skipping a lot of events, I'm skipping that book, basically. The book I'm reading, like I said, I didn't even finish it. I'm barely halfway in. But Yamamoto's logic was, well, we got to get a total victory at Pearl Harbor. And if they could cripple us really well at Pearl Harbor or outright destroy our fleet, that would kind of potentially, at least they hoped, would force us to negotiate. Unfortunately, we didn't have all of our ships at Pearl Harbor at that point in time. We had enough resources outside of Pearl Harbor. And luckily, we also had a hell of a salvage operation for Battle of Midway. Battle of Midway, when it was under Japanese control, of course, it was necessary for us to take Midway in order to conduct the island hopping campaign. And when we took Midway, there were ships that would not be ready for an additional year that were pressed into service in the nick of time. There were ships that were going to Midway with the repair crews still on board, getting things up to snuff. And that was a big part of, what got us allowed us to achieve success in Midway. And once we had Midway, it's a very boring place to be. I mean, like, I remember in the submarine books I was reading about the diesel submarine crews from the U.S., Midway Island was just, it's an atoll. I mean, look at this shit. I mean, look at these pictures here. You got, let's see, you got this one here. I mean, it's literally a coral reef with two little islands. Apparently, at this point in time, they have Eastern Island, that's 366 acres. Spit Island, which I don't even see it, but apparently that's 15 acres. And you got Sand Island, that's 1,117 acres. And then this, I guess, is considered the atoll. I guess you could build a road on it or walk on it, but essentially, most of this is just really hazardous, shallow water. And so I believe Midway Island, what they did was island submarine base. They had a submarine base on Midway Island. And at this point, I believe the Fish and Wildlife Commission or some, federal agency operates there. They're basically, spending money to hire some people to hang out and study birds. They have a shit ton of, oceanic birds there, which maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a place it's a nesting area that the birds land on. And people who had their family stationed there, who lived as kids on Midway, they recall, living there and having a crap ton of birds there. If you go there now, I believe a 747 or something landed on Midway. Yeah, it did. I believe so. So yeah, in a Delta 747, I want to say there was a plane. I don't know if it was a 747, but landed midway. Hey, what up, Peter Venkman fan site? I can't remember what plane it was, but there was actually a passenger airliner. Yep, that's not it. Huh. Okay, that's cool. No, nobody died there, luckily. Look at that shit. But there was a plane, I want to say it landed on Guam or Wake Island. I don't think it was Wake Island, but it's one of the uninhabited islands that literally had a handful of people living there as staff. And I don't know, it wasn't Saipan. Here we are. Yep, there it is. Got it. Okay, good. DL 747 emergency landing, Midway Island. Let's see if we can find a video of that. Yep, got it.
A 747 flying from Honolulu to Japan had to make an emergency landing at Midway Atoll. Gina Mangieri joins us with more.
Joe, it was a very large and unexpected visitor on the tiny island whose workers stepped up big time to help. Delta Flight 277 from Honolulu to Osaka diverted to Midway early evening Thursday atoll time. A cracked windshield was the cause.
To a layperson, it did seem like a significant crack.
The FAA says there was no loss of pressure and oxygen masks did not deploy, but the damage was enough to take the precaution of using Henderson Field, Midway Atoll's runway that serves as an emergency landing strip for the Pacific.
The pilots were needless to say, thrilled that Midway was here, that they could land this aircraft.
Nearly 380 passengers and crew were aboard the flight. Workers at the atoll got the heads up that the big bird was heading their way about an hour before it touched down. The airport manager gathered people from all over, including employees of the National Wildlife Refuge, to prepare.
That's a very rare visitor. I don't know that we've ever had one of those here as an emergency landing.
One problem that had to be tackled, how to get the people off the very tall airplane with the much shorter boarding stairs on island.
Of course, it was built many years ago for airplanes that are not as tall as a 747, so the very capable carpentry staff on island had to actually build an additional set of stairs to put on top of this stairway so that there would be enough stairs to actually reach the doorway.
Island workers even went aboard to give a briefing about Midway and hand out visitor maps. The passengers stayed on board for nearly 8 hours until a backup plane from Japan arrived. Air conditioning was on, plenty of food, water, and onboard entertainment was provided.
They had what they needed, and the passengers all seemed to be calm and were doing a really good job.
The second 747, the replacement plane, touched down at about 2 a.m. Passengers got aboard that, the flight refueled, and took off a couple of hours later. The runway was in clean and working order, but has been having trouble related to the condition of the seawalls, battered by recent storms and the March tsunami.
They are holding now, but I am sure that each large storm will continue to degrade the seawalls and push more debris and water toward our very important runway.
Now, the plane struck two birds when it landed. One damaged the aircraft's wing flap. The damaged aircraft is being repaired on Midway. Gina Mangieri, KHON2 News, Hawaii's news leader.
Oops. I had a glass pipe shaped like a mushroom, and I named it General Takahashi. They make really good telescopes, very expensive telescopes. Crack on crack, Miss Peter. Someone else called her Miss Peter today. Is that a new thing? Is that something we do now? We call him Peter Venkman fan site Miss Peter? Mrs. Peter, I should say. A bird can bring a plane down. Yes, that is true. Miracle on the Hudson, am I right? Well, if I'm off to mess around with temporal distortion. Oh, cool. Slim's going to do temporal distortions. Good. I'm about to wrap it up myself. I just had fun bringing up Japanese crap. But real quick, I do want to talk about, because I just love diesel submarines. Well, I'm sure they were horrible to work and live on. But this is the submarine base, I believe. And so during World War II, they erected a bunch of facilities on Midway. I remember in one story, they actually had an issue with the periscope on the submarine. They had like metal dings in it. It was all scratched up. So it was causing the gasket or the flax packing to get ripped up and water to leak in through the periscope. So they met up with the dentists on the island, believe it or not. And I know that Venkman's a girl. Anyway, they meet up with the dentists on the island, and they basically like said, hey, you guys want to do some fillings? So they bring them to the submarine, and they basically use like multiple pounds of, dental amalgam, lead and mercury, I suppose, in order to fill in the pitting on the metal surface of the periscope. And that was important because getting a replacement periscope done would either take you out of commission for a really long time, or it might not be readily available, and you might have to go out on patrol without the periscope repair and leakage. So having some kind of quick fix that actually worked was kind of a big deal. So yeah, anyway, think that, and look, you got the fuel. Look, you got a fuel tanks right over here. Also, people who lived and worked on Midway later on, I did hear about a hotel. Now, I don't know if that hotel was built during the war, but I do know it was the biggest building on Midway Island, and I bet you we can see pictures of it over here. Oh yeah, here we are. Look at this shit. So unfortunately, these pictures suck. Okay, so that's a defense. Oh, see the fucking birds. What did I tell you about the birds? See? Like, look at those big motherfuckers. Part of my language, but they are big mother effers. So you got the birds over there. You got more pictures of the giant anti-aircraft gun, or maybe it's naval artillery. I'm not really sure. Okay, that looks like a pillbox, basically. And then this looks like World War II naval operations, or naval facilities. And apparently you got some flying boats inside of this harbor. I don't know if this is an artificial harbor. It looks like what they did was they built some seawalls on top of the existing atoll, or on top of the shoal, I guess you would call it. So you got some shallow sand here and shallow ocean. And one of the issues was being a submarine going into the port. Now, I don't know where the submarine port was. I think it was over here somewhere. But wherever the submarine port was, yeah, you had to be careful because you could easily, run aground on some rocks or some coral reef or some combination thereof. So anyway, I think we covered our bases. Sea-Bond to the rescue. Seriously, I think that would have been the next option. And sometimes they invent stuff like that. Sometimes they invent things that that are used by civilians, but they start off in the military, right? So there's like some military thing, or like NASA, they invent Velcro, and the next thing you know, disabled people have Velcro. Look at it, you got the same birds, or similar birds, and you got the plane with wheels. Is that a B-17? Oh, whatever. Next week, remind me to talk about the island of Tinian. Tinian is a very remote island in the Pacific. It is where they assembled the first nukes before bringing them to Japan. And so what I like about our relationship with Japan is that, they gave us a bloody nose at Okinawa. That was enough to convince us to not invade them. We were like, okay, let's not invade the mainland. They gave us a bloody nose at Okinawa. They really did. I think we lost 70,000 people, had 70,000 casualties at Okinawa. And there's this lady from the War College, and she's right. A professor from the War College was saying, like, by dropping those 2 nukes, it saved a crap ton of life. And, yeah, people are like, oh, she's advocating for the nuke. And it's like, no, motherfucker, it did save life. As she specified in the lecture, once the nukes were dropped, and once Japan was ready to actually, surrender or sign a peace treaty, once that happened, once that diplomatic process was, begun, or, was engaged, we were able to start sending food to them. And had we continued the war, and it been a protracted conflict on the mainland of Japan, not only would we have lost a crap ton of personnel, but Japanese civilians would have suffered from that. But those who were not directly engaged in combat were not going to be seeing any incoming supplies or food, and the domestic supplies and food were all effed up. So, dropping nukes on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, as sucky as it was, did save a lot of lives in Japan, as well as amongst our servicemen. And what else before I go? But I think we learned our lesson. I think we realized, okay, this is atrocious. Let's never nuke another civilian population again. This was ugly. And Japan, I think they respected us for it. Either they respected us, or they just realized they got to play ball with us. But, I mean, ever since then, we've had a pretty copacetic relationship. Although, if you watch the movie Shin Godzilla, why is the video frozen? Is my video frozen, guys? Uh-oh. I think the stream's over. My web browser froze up. This is weird. My OBS is working, but I can't click on anything. Can you guys see me? Can you hear me? I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna sign out of the stream on my phone again. I think it got a little warm in here. I think what happened was when I closed my window, it got hot in here. But still, my computer shouldn't be overheating. I mean, I don't get it. Everything's frozen. Can you guys see me? I gotta check I'm gonna check YouTube. What the heck happened here? Yo, I can see my screen, but my shit's frozen right now. And yes, Jacob Ironside, it's a B17. Yeah, I literally can't operate my computer right now. So we're going to wrap up this stream. I'm going to sign into Restream on my phone so I can end the stream because I'm certainly not doing it from my computer. Testing? Okay. Or whatever, I'm still on camera. All right. So anyway, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I don't know why my screens are frozen except for this one here, but I still can click on anything. Like literally, I can see shit on my upper right screen. I don't get it. This is weird. What is the chat saying? I'm behind on the chat. Let me get back to the chat. Lol. Curtis is lolling at me. His stream always crashes or something when I appear. Oh, that's what it is. It's Zombie Box's fault. Yeah, I can see myself. I'm going to show you guys what I see. This is funny. Let me just pop out of here real quick. Let me just switch. How do I do this? I mean, I know how to do it, but I don't know how to do it. Here we go. Okay, we click here. On this, testing 1, 2. Now you can hear the rain, can't you guys, huh? You can hear that rain. All right, now we're going to turn on my webcam. Then we're going to switch the webcam to the other side camera. How do we do that? We got to go here. We got to click on video. That's not how we do it. Oh, settings. Give me 1 second. Camera facing back. Okay, look, see that? Look, that's still moving. Look. See, look at that. It's still moving, right? So you think everything should work, right? Right? Look, that should still work, shouldn't it? Okay, let me just get out of the menu because I can't see what I'm doing. Wait, does this rotate? Let me rotate my screen. Look, so this is moving, but the VU meter is frozen. And then, look, I'm frozen here. I'm like frozen like that. That's what I got. So that's why I was asking if I'm frozen because I don't have anything here. So this time the issue I'm having didn't completely cause my screen to blank out. But I'm just flabbergasted right now. So let me just catch up with the chat. And then we are going to conclude this. All right, guys? And I want to thank you guys for hanging in here with me. And tune into Slim, all right? Slim name was in the stream chat. I can't type his name in anymore, so I'm not gonna unless I do it here. But he's streaming, I believe. It's probably whatever app it is. Nah, man. I only use the best apps. It can't be my apps. Nah, jokes aside, Lady Mist, it's good seeing you. And Zombie Box, thanks for tuning in. We had a good time. Well, we had a mixed time tonight. We had a good time. We covered a lot of ground today. We watched some Japanese TV. We talked about World War II. We talked about an audio book based on a book about Japan leading up to World War II. And yes, right? Ain't that is, yep, that's what that looks like. In the spirit, in him, with him, forever and ever. That's, if you ever go to a Catholic church, that's what they sing. System malfunction. Plug and unplug it. Which one? I don't know what to unplug. Actually, the caps lock button on my keyboard still works. So fun fact, if the caps lock button works on your keyboard, that usually means things are not absolutely foobarred. It means your input is good. But it also means, what am I going to unplug? Like, what? Am I going to open up my computer and remove the I got it. I know what's happening now. Okay. This monitor, and my drawing tablet are all on a NVIDIA Quadro graphics card. But this monitor is... Oh, that one froze up too. Never mind.
pardon the Mylar film that I use for lighting. But yeah, it finally froze up. So anyway, we're going to conclude this. I'm going to turn off my computer and, oh, that's cool. I just had things falling off of my windowsill because of the blast of wind that just came this way. So looks like we're not opening the window to get cool air. Looks like we're going to turn on the air conditioner in November because I really am not comfortable opening this window right now with the type of wind that we are dealing with. So with that being said, I'm not going to turn the camera this way. Actually, I will. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful night. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, or concerns, please leave a comment. And for now, we shall end transmission.